Hey, this is Danny Sunshine Bauer, and I have some productivity tips for you today. The goal of this video is to show you how to double your productivity using some simple tips. I'm gonna give you 10 tips that you can take action on and execute today, as well as 3 books that have really impacted me and my productivity, plus 1 app that I find absolutely awesome. So here we go. Before we get into the tips and then the resources, I want to take just a second to talk about why we don't achieve everything that we want to accomplish. I think that one of the biggest reasons is that we are dreamers versus doers. It's a lot easier to do things that are comfortable, right? Like reading or watching a YouTube video like this. Don't go though, right? Get some value before you leave. And the thing is, it's really hard to actually execute to get things done. So we'd like to dream, right? We want to think about all the things we want to accomplish. But that is absolutely different than actually doing the work it takes to accomplish those things. The other thing is that we're often in reactive mode versus proactive. And that might be because of a lack of a plan regarding our day. That might be because we are in our email inboxes too much, or we might just be, connected to everybody's wishes for our lives and what we need to get done. And we're not being proactive, anticipating what challenges we'll face, what kind of conversations we need to have, or what kind of goals that we want to accomplish. You need to take ownership of your day and absolutely get after it. Get into proactive mode, stop being in reactive mode. In my opinion, the number one reason that we lack productivity, that we don't get as much done as we set out to accomplish, is because we lack a system. We don't have a way of thinking about how do we approach the day? How do we approach our goals? How do we even set goals? How do we measure our progress toward those goals to make sure that we're absolutely getting everything done that we want to? And having a system, it could be a system that I share with you, it could be a system that you develop, but the point is that you have some type of system that you execute on so that you can measure your progress and move toward your goals. So the number one tip I have for you in terms of doubling how much you get done in a day is turn off your notifications. Notifications are absolute killer. It also shows through research that it takes you 15 minutes on average to get back to the type of deep level work that you were in. So maybe you're creating a YouTube video, maybe you're working on a manuscript, maybe it's some type of higher level, school improvement plan, or some type of organizational document that you're working on for your small business. The point is, when you get knocked out of that routine because of a notification bubble, a banner, a sound, it takes time to reset and get back. And that's a loss of productivity throughout the day. If you're constantly on your computer and you're seeing all the emails come through and the appointments on your calendar and Facebook messages, all this kind of stuff, you are not going to get a lot done. So I encourage you, turn off all your notifications. That's tip number 1. Tip number 2 is to have some type of plan to attack your day. So for me, I call that the ideal week. The ideal week, I look through Sunday through Saturday. I map out from when I anticipate I want to wake up through when I'm going to go to bed, and I categorize all the times. These times are for everything, for personal, those routines and rituals that renew and recharge my energy. So that might be working out, that might be taking a long walk with my beautiful wife, Miriam, that kind of stuff. It's also the work that I need to get done, connecting with clients. It's strategic work, so 3-hour deep blocks. It's buffer blocks to check email, all that kind of stuff. But every task, everything that has to happen, I block in these categories of types of work, meetings, content creation, whatever it may be. And I do that throughout Sunday through Saturday. And every block of time is spoken for. I also actually block out time called white space, just so I have some wiggle room within each day's calendar and I'm able to move blocks of time around if needed. Tip number 3, speaking of the ideal week, you heard me mention that. Tip number 3 is checking email only at specific times during the day. I do not check email constantly, right? I think on average, I read through a Dan Peak newsletter, the average American, I want to say, I should look this up. Hold on, I'll be right back. So Dan shared a startling statistic in one of his newsletters, and he cited a study from the University of California, Irvine, that the average American checks email a whopping 74.81 times a day. Can you believe that? Almost 75 times a day. And I'm telling you, check it maybe twice a day. 30-minute blocks, definitely not when you get up. Most people I find are the most productive in the beginning of the day, in the morning. They're fresh. They haven't been beat down by the day and working other people's priorities or whatever. So I have a block of time where I check right after lunch. Then I go for a walk. And then when I wrap up my day, I check my email one last time and I make sure that I, respond and that type of thing. When I bound it too with time, I know that I'm only able to be in my email for 30 minutes. So that limits what I can do. My answers have to be brief. I can't waste a lot of time there. And it absolutely helps me be more productive, because if I'm not living in email, that means I'm doing actual real work, important work that needs to happen. Tip number 4 is having a plan for your day. So I talked about categorizing and blocking off times in terms of your ideal week. That gives you a sense of how do you want to spend your time in bigger categories. If I'm a school principal, and I have been, right, some of that time was for meetings. It was delegated to making sure I'm conducting observations, that kind of thing, right? And then what I would do is I would have goals for the day, and I would make a plan for the day as well. So that bigger category, let's say it was observations, I would fit into that slot. I'm going to see teacher X, Y, and Z during this hour. Now it looks like this. And when I'm chasing a revenue goal for my business, there are certain actions and items that I need to do within that category. So maybe it's recording and creating content and podcasts. Maybe it's creating videos like this. Maybe it's meeting with clients and following up with them, conducting one-on-one sessions. So it's the larger category. Then I plan the day and actually slide into those slots the specific actions that I take. Tip 5, don't pick too much to do. What I have found that's worked well for me, 6 to 10 items, no more than that, is what I can knock out within a day. This doesn't mean that's all I do, but I'm talking about 6 or 10 items mapped to bigger type goals that I want to accomplish. So I have a revenue goal for my business. There's a fitness goal that I have, which is to lose 2 to 4% body fat. And then I have a third professional goal, which is to publish my first book. And so those 6 to 10 items all map back to those bigger goals. Tip number 7, a new hack that I have found to work wonders. And I'm telling you, this is awesome. I actually predict how much time each task will take. Believe it or not, I had never done that until recently. And now that I'm saying that this item might take an hour, this one might take 2, here is probably 30 minutes. Now when I go back to that ideal week in my calendar and I go from those bigger blocks of categories to specific items I'm actually going to do, I have a sense of how much time that they may take to accomplish. And as I put those on the calendar, I see if I have a realistic plan. I could work around the clock if I didn't have boundaries around that. And I have found that by putting times connected to the tasks that I need to complete helps me have a more realistic approach to the work. And then that also builds momentum because I don't feel deflated when I don't accomplish everything that is on my to-do list. Now I have a general sense of, yeah, I can accomplish this. And if I don't, what am I doing, right? I have to ask those tough questions. So put times in terms of every single item that you want to accomplish each day. Tip number 8 would be to have a strategy to identify every choice in front of you, right? People are going to come to you with opportunities. And the thing that I like the best is called the focus funnel. And so I'm going to break that down for you in another video, but go ahead and Google that. Rory Vaden, Procrastinate on Purpose, the focus funnel. And the cool thing about that, it acts just like it sounds. It is a funnel to help you focus. And at the top of the funnel is eliminate, right? When an opportunity comes across my desk, okay, people reach out all the time. They have their blog post linked on my website. And so right away, does this match, right? Does it meet my core values? Is it in alignment with my vision? If it's not, it's a quick eliminate. Tip number 9, and this is a ninja tactic, and there's going to be more explanation in just a second, so I want you to keep watching. You have to keep score. So when you are trying to make progress towards whatever big goals you have, and if you want to double your productivity, double what you get done within a day, you need to have a measuring system, right? A lot of us are sports fans, and not all, and that's okay. But the point is, every game is measured by a score. There's a winner and there's a loser. By measuring our progress and keeping score of the productivity of every single day, you know if it was a good day, did you win or did you lose? And by keeping score, that helps me hold myself accountable because I want to have a high percentage of completed tasks every single day. Like I said, more on that in just a second. I'm actually going to walk you through and show you exactly what I do. And finally, tip number 10 is to recruit some friends. A lot of people may join some type of productivity community. Maybe it's a professional learning network. We call that in the education industry. For our business people, you know, your business network opportunities. Maybe you hire a coach. Maybe you join a mastermind. All these things, what they do is they provide another layer of accountability. The most powerful is holding yourself accountable, but number two is having others that are going to challenge and encourage you on your productivity journey. And what I've found too is if you write down goals, they are more likely to succeed. And then the bigger thing is if you tell people what you want to accomplish. So now you've gone from thinking about goals, from writing them down, moving from a dreamer to a doer, to telling people that you say, speak into my life, hold me accountable for doing these things. Oh, you better believe that you are going to not want to disappoint them or yourself, and you're going to want to achieve those goals. So make sure you recruit some friends. And I think the best ways to do that is to either hire a coach or join a mastermind. What I want to show you here is a Trello board that I have built out. And this is part of my system in terms of tracking my goals. You can see each week across the top. Not every week has a full 5 or 7 days. Maybe I was traveling. Like here, I knew I flew from Belgium back to the US this week. And here I had some more travel and some conferences. So I couldn't quite get as much done as I want. But let's talk about, let's see, this last week, week 7, this was 92%. So that's good. And you can see here that, I'm shooting for over 80%. Some weeks are close. This one was a little kind of weak, but most of them have been good weeks. And what I do is I create this Trello board and I write down, I have a label. So first of all, what percentage am I at? Okay, and I have that there to motivate. So everyone starts here under 74%, and then hopefully, I'm able to increase that. I have my goals here. So a revenue goal, my fitness goal, and my book goal. And then I also just create a Monday checklist and just list out all the things that I want to accomplish, right? So that was Monday. Tuesday may look like this. And again, it only had 4 things. I do some coaching as well. And so these aren't the only 4 things I do that day, but they're the 4 things that map back to my biggest goals. And that's how you get more productive, right? So you have to absolutely map out how you're going to get to those things that you dream about and you become a doer. And so this is a system that I use that helps me take action. Thursday looked like this, okay? So it's a whole, bunch of different stuff. I use a checklist and then I calculate my score, and that's that measuring part that I was talking about within the video that is so important. This is an old day. This was Tuesday, but to map back to my goals, these are all the things that I wanted to do to have a great day. That's what Tuesday looks like. Here's what Wednesday looks like. Here's Thursday. I know that I'm actually going to be traveling to Disney on this day, so it's not a great example. Monday, I haven't filled out yet. And so this is good to show you too. Some of it is filled out. And so these meetings I know are non-negotiables, but the book, the 18 cents, the 54, all these things will turn into more specific action items. So categorically, I know what these things are. But then I'm going to get absolutely more specific and drill down, put it on my Trello card when it gets to that week. So I'll plan on a Sunday or Monday how to do this. And then I'll map out those actual items that I need to do to take care of. And again, the new hack that I've just learned recently is to add like the amount of time that I might think this item may take. And that's helped me be a lot more focused and helped me get a lot more done. So you can do it on Trello. I will show you this too. I used to do it on a spreadsheet. And so the other thing here was this task thing would calculate here. I'd have my tasks. I'd have these X's. This would calculate there, and it would give me a percentage. So that was a terrible week, week 1. And the cool thing about the spreadsheet is you could see it all at a glance. And you can see that some days were like, I crushed it, and some days or some weeks sucked. Like week 1 and 2, 7 and 8 were low. But the rest of the weeks were quite high, and the overall percentage was 82. I'll absolutely take that. So this is a part of my system. There's a lot more that goes into it, but I want to give you a taste. And the thing is, like, yeah, it'd be great if you use my system, but the point is, have a system that's out there. And if you do work with me, let's do it. Daniel at betterleadersbetterschools.com. We'll figure out if it makes sense to work with me. Otherwise, in part 3, I'm going to mention the books that have really helped shape my focus on productivity and help me design this system. And so go back, or not go back, but listen to that section that's up just next, and definitely get those books and read them, because that might help you develop your system. All right, so just a sec, I'll be back on the video and we'll get into part 3, those books and resources, and then wrap up this video. Thanks for watching. All right, so real quick, here are 3 resources that have really helped me out in terms of productivity. 3 books would be Essentialism, and all the links will be in the description of this video. The 12-Week Year, and then like I mentioned, Procrastinate on Purpose by Rory Vaden. The app that has been an absolute hack for me is called Brain FM, and I believe that is a paid-for subscription that I use, but it's pretty cool. It uses science, and I can't explain to you the science behind the music, but it plays this instrumental music that actually it almost feels like I'm gonna have a heart attack while I'm listening to it, and then my body sort of like gets into this flow, and at first it seems really intense, and then I'm just in this rhythm, and I'm super focused for, you could pick 30 minutes, 1 hour, or 2 hours, and I like to work in the 30-minute or the 1 hour block, and then I stop and take a break. But the music has absolutely like encouraged me and get me in this weird type of rhythm to help be more productive. So I hope you enjoyed this video on how to double your productivity, how to double what you get done within a day. And I want you to remember too that vision without implementation is merely hallucination. So execution is absolutely everything. I also mentioned that the #1 reason people lack productivity or don't get as much done as they could is because they don't have a system. So if you'd like a system, I actually do some group coaching. I have a course with a whole bunch of videos, hours and hours of content, and then 6 weeks of group coaching where we talk just productivity. And so if I could help you, reach out to me, Daniel@betterleadersbetterschools.com, and just put productivity coaching in the subject line. I'll know what it's all about. And from there, we will schedule a time to do a one-on-one strategy call. You don't have to invest in the course. I really want to hear just more about you, what you do, if you're a school leader, if you're a student, if you're a small business owner, whatever you are, and to see what kind of goals that you have, and if it would be a right fit for me to offer you this course and then invite you to participate in the group coaching. If you don't, that's fine. I'd love to just get to know you a little bit better, and we'd be happy to do a free strategy session just to talk about your goals and whatever challenges that you face right now. And if you got any value from this video at all, there's 4 ways that you could really help me out. #1, I'm trying to grow this YouTube channel and the platform. So the first thing would be to click subscribe. Would you do that so you don't miss out on any of the great content that I create just for you? #2, give me a thumbs up on this video. That'll show me that you're enjoying the content. #3, leave a comment in the section below. And the question I want you to answer is, what goals are you chasing right now? What is some type of productivity goal that you have for yourself that you would like to just put out there, right? I said if you write down your goals, if you tell people about it, you're more likely to get it done. So I'm challenging you right now, write your #1 goal that you're chasing after over the next, let's say, 12 weeks. And finally, if you really enjoy this content, will you share on social media, whether that's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, wherever you're at? I would love for you to share this content. This is Danny Sunshine Bauer. Thanks for watching How to Double Your Productivity, and have a great day. Bye-bye for now.